Moi. Sound alert. It seems like your sound alert's browser shows suffleen. Pitäisikö mun pitää sunnuntaina semmonen striimiasetuspäivä? Kattois noi kaikki jutut. Siirtäis noi emotet ja keksis jotain ääniä ja kaikkea mahdollista. Pitää varmaan. Pitää varmaan.
Soft covers, serialized, fantastique, and detective story.
Konseptisointi. Katsottiinko me täältä mitään näitä vaatteet? Ei näköjään. Täällä on vaikka mitä. Alright, sit me otetaan vetää. Me jätiin siihen, kun meitä ammuttiin jalkaa ja sitten me mentiin sinne saarelle sille veneellä. Kaikki kuoli. No ei kaikki, mutta tosi moni kuoli. Me jätiin siihen. En oo... Joku mikrofoniasetus on nyt taas muuttunut, mut toivottavasti teidän korvat ei räjähdä. Toi pomppii tonne punaiselle koko ajan. Jossain me nyt taas nupit kaakkoon. Kuin vaikea tää on?
Animal Adventures, a magazine for electrical engineering. And, oh yes,
ei tarpeeksi.
There is a rather extensive collection of critical theory, that is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as Abattoir Firm and Elysium. It's not exactly like reading.
Look, him downbeat dribble for people who can't get shit done. Deranged, call me ranting. Look, him a book, left wing. I have no comments.
Yeah. I agree. Humanitarian sciences. It stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around in Ravachol West.
Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke him. Wasn't there some in the communist student's room?
A student in the apartment building seemed to have some as well.
Well, yes. That one student did.
The little books seem inconsequential next to the big pile of frivolous entertainment covering them.
Critical theory books, what do you think this means?
Whoever has lived here, they have some education and a certain set of interests.
Interesting.
No, tää ei nyt jotenkin, en mä tiedä. Hirveän tärkeä. Ai niin, ei saanut juosta. Unohdin ihan, että mulla on jalka kipeä. Money.
Green paint flicks off the monoblock aluminium cabinet. There are rows of switches on the front panel, a frequency band, and even a keyboard.
What is this then?
The console of an anti-computation device. The generator upstairs, with wires coming out, they terminate here.
Could this open the blast door?
I think, yes. Let's see. That one. The emergency open.
Turn emergency open.
The blast door opens with a series of clicks. A shaft of light appears, then widens as the light shines in.
Bonk.
After you.
What's there?
I don't know.
A thin wisp of smoke rises from a charred black fire pit. The wind picks up, then dies down again.
Oh, let's go. Look at that. This hatch is jammed shut. Water rushes below. Far down below. Firing slit. You can't see inside. Mä just olin tässä. Se on tossa. Mulla on tärkeä. It must have been a direct hit to take out such a huge chunk. Hecking chonker. The distant sound of cargo ship signal horns echo on the water. Tää hidas kävely on kyllä... The reed sways strangely. No, it's nothing. The ice cracks under your feet. Be careful not to fall through. Voiko tässä? Ei. Bom, bom, bom. Hyvä, että me avattiin se ovi ja sitten me mentiin ihan päinvastaiseen suuntaan. Lähdin tutkii kaikkea muuta. The pain in your pelvis makes you wince, then you continue. Sattuu. The inside of the fortress, you make out the console and the blast door. Hei, täällä on lisää läpää. Nice. Hello, hello. Welcome. A weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Revachol. An old medicine cabinet, newly stocked with the Droamine. Kibe.
There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits like two eyes in the wall.
B triple prime. This looks like a good place to shoot from.
Inspect the
A
mattress.
single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns. And an empty can of beans on the ground next to it, filled to the brim with cigarette butts.
Pick one out of the can.
The silhouette of a tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand, Tio Moteri. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Druan, a local blend from the southern islands, or Astra, the legendary cigarette from Grad. Tio Moteri is favored by older men for its paper filter tips, sweet smell, and added tar.
Tio material like the ones we found at Land's End, remember?
I may have been wrong when I said it wasn't important. This means the same person could have visited both locations. I didn't see any signs of smoking inside, though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. This here may also be a smoking spot.
Inspect the wall.
There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you, like a little window.
Touch the concrete.
Quite old and grimy from years without cleaning by anything other than the rain.
Look through the hole in the concrete.
The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation. a tingling feeling in your stomach. A small piece of Martinez coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar.
On the left.
A towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Capeside apartments. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A and 33B.
On the right.
The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement in front of the whirling in rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 10. The doomed commercial area.
Between the two. Dun dun
Box-shaped
dun.
silhouette of the whirling in rags. Its sloped roof, a tiny fleck of light catches your eye on the rooftop. Sunlight reflecting off the upstairs window of Clausia's room.
Motherfucker. Ja taas bannia YouTubesta.
Do you have line of sight to the window?
More than that.
Kim, with a pair of binoculars, I would be able to see inside the room.
A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? You'd be prone, lying on a mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure. I think we have it. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest.
Löytyy.
Affirmative.
Finally.
In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many leads pointed elsewhere.
6 people are dead. We could have prevented it.
Don't beat yourself up, officer. We did not put guns in their hands or get them drunk. We will make up for it. Here. I feel it.
Could the shooter still be here?
Where?
On this island?
He does not answer, just nods. With his back hunched, he looks around once more and says,
We should move now.
Turn away. Mitäs maan se ampui? Dun dun dun. You feel eyes on your back. Someone's watching, but you can't say where. Kohta tulee kuulla. The winch is broken. Rust has eaten what remains of the chain.
a strange feeling looking at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea, leave it all, and walk in with a bottle in your hand.
Bottle in my hand?
Always.
Always. Why?
Perhaps there's someone there, under the water, waiting for you, where it has always been, smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal. Maybe you know it's going to hurt.
But it's cold.
Yes, cold and still. But love is warm, like the inside of her mouth.
Yes, please.
Oh, fuck, yes. Go there in your head. It's been days since you thought about her. A week. No, we're not starting with that. Not now. Not this time. This thought is over.
Raise your sight.
In the still mirror of the bay, you see Martinez, reflected. Tall edifices of ruins reach into the water, like shimmering towers. And the shacks too. Pine trees and motor lorries, upside down. Islets and posts, like stepping stones, lead into the water in front of you. Go. Step in. It's been too long.
Meillä vieläkään löydetty niitä kaikkia armoriosia. Meillä on sikana skillipojoa, jos me tarvitaan. Joo. Mä nyt kyllä jaksa kävellä, nyt mä juoksen kunnes mä otan damagea. Mulla on noit hiili-itemet, mä voidaan naukkailla kipulääkkeitä, jos alkaa liikaa sattua jalkaan. Rubber dinghy. Small white flowers blossom all around you. Kato. Ja sillä on kivääri. Ja mikäs kivääri sillä on? Sillä on varmaan just semmonen kivääri, mitä meillä on etitty.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth, then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp.
Are you the fire guy?
The what now? I can't hear you.
Did you recently tell two kids to put out their fire? Two twins.
I may have. All sorts of little rats have come sniffing around, trying to give up the position.
Kai tää nyt on vaan joku sekaisin mennyt vanha sotilas, joka luulee, että sota on edelleen olemassa ja sen takia se on vaan tappanut sen tyypin ja sen takia tuli ihan hirveä kaos.
The position sounds like a hiding place.
Fire guy. Regressive bourgeoisie henchman. Can't even talk like a grown-up.
You've retained your eyesight.
My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
Did you close the blast door?
I did. And you opened it. How?
I filled the generator, then used the console.
I should have burned that console down.
How did you know I was coming?
Reactionary rock and roll music. Playing on the water.
Oops.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
It was not rock and roll, it was sad FM.
Sad FM, huh? I always hated that station. Phlegmatic counter-revolutionary dirges. Sadness is a mental illness. A weapon of the bourgeoisie.
Se on just näin.
The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate. Hip gyrating mental illness music.
Nice gun you got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
Is that the bell in my grave?
It's a Triangong 446.
Southeast Samaran made. Exotic. Must be defunct too. No modern rifle manufacturer of that name springs to mind.
A Samaran rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
The Xinyao commune?
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk wiped from the board.
And with the police you can keep the gun, but keep it down. Not one move.
No.
Aha. Kim oli eri mieltä.
Put it down now, sir.
Or you're gonna blow my brains out before you question me. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
Like an amputated limb in the sand. He stares on, his wrinkled mouth moving without a sound. A strange sadness, like a song.
Did you say?
The future teaches you to be alone.
The present.
Let him say it.
The present to be afraid and cold.
Olisi varmaan pitänyt sanoa, olisi ehkä sanoa jotain pojoja johonkin suostuttanut. Ehkä. Pick up the gun lying in the sand.
Gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stopped and patched in places with tape and wire.
Inspect it closer.
The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangong, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
Sinyao. It's as he said.
No one said it has to be a Belma grave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a Triangong, too.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
This uses, yes.
The right type,
Yes.
the right caliber.
Stow the gun.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly.
Onko sillä nyt joku pistooli tuo?
This looked very much like the murder weapon. It can be used against him to get a confession in time.
Those words the future teaches you.
Real music. Real Proletkult. That's La Revacholière, not your rock and roll Miss Enterby. Chanson de soldat of the black and whites.
I'm not a misanthrope. I'm a half-dead police officer who's just doing his job.
The job of a shitlicker.
What is La Revacholière?
It is the anthem of the world revolution. One of 3. In Grad, they sang Brave Children, favorites of history. And in Sinyao, it was some Samaran shit, I guess.
How does it go, the song?
How did it go? Something about shooting rabbits. I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. It's gone now.
He waves erratically with his hand, annoyed that he can't remember. A little tremor passes through him.
Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? Your holdover from the...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia, the army of the revolution. I was recruited in Jamrock in 07, trained in the École de Contrôle Orient, and consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
You've been on this island for 43 years.
No. I've been on other islands too. I was in Resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was on E48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago.
You've been hiding here for 43 years.
43 years and 10 months.
That's steadfast.
It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
He just couldn't.
You couldn't give up.
He nods. But he can now.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where it's morning, on Rue de Saint-Gislain, people are walking. The gas street lights have already been switched off. Further inland, in general, the streets come alive with workers. Men, women, children rushing. Muddy avenue after muddy avenue.
Muddy.
Temperature is rising. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41.
Always waiting
Or what?
for her to return.
Her who?
Girl, child, revolution.
I've seen it. Capital is too powerful. The rich are very well organized.
They have you. The material base for an uprising has eroded. The working class has betrayed mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore, however hard I try, whatever I do.
You said you deserted your unit.
I was just 16 years old, 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too.
Lapse of faith?
You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took
For what?
for reaction to take hold.
What's reaction?
Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
It wasn't reaction, you were just afraid.
It's the same thing. You haven't seen it. Not really. Not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
And this was when?
May the 13th, 08, 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic.
Dark magic.
The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower, huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. We would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room. I ran. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers underground, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened of the ordnance all night and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring. Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too, shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality.
Seen what?
The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second, to do the deed. And then you see it, as it strangles and beats your friends to death. The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know that the bourgeois are not human.
Let him finish.
I had to fight it. I had to never stop.
Oho, se oli pitkä. Tällä on varmaan niin paljon sanottavaa kyllä. What is this place, this island?
It's not an island, what? It's a defensive fortification of the commune of Revachol. And I am its last surviving defender.
What was it used for?
The congenitally deformed King Philip II built it to restrict access to the Bay of Revachol. We captured it in '02, retrofitted the fort with an AA gun to defend against an airborne landing. Against the whole world.
You mean the landing, retaking of Revachol?
Coalition military called it Operation Deathblow. I later found out on the radio they called it Deathblow. You're one of them. Tell me, who speaks like that? We had 50 million people on Caillou alone.
First, I'm not one of them.
Sure you are. You're RCM. Answer me. Who calls an operation against 50 million people Deathblow?
Coalition military.
Iblis.
Iblis?
The black-eyed angel.
Just. How have you survived all this time?
How does anyone survive? I steal.
Now hold on there.
That's a choice. You could have become self-employed. Create the system.
You're insane and grotesque. Everyone steals. Vegetables, supplies. It's the life of a dog.
How is your health, Mr. Dross?
I've been throwing up blood since winter. Red, like beetroot. Been passing it in stool, too.
He does seem frail. Good for his age. More like 75 than 65. Trouble putting on weight could mean cancer.
The RCM can provide medical services. You need to be looked over.
I need to die. You don't have medical facilities. You have guns. That's all they give you. Toy guns.
We also have Druamine.
We have Druamine and other opioid-based painkillers. You must be in pain.
I have been running out of that stuff.
There's no way he could manage the pain without them. It's safe to say he is addicted to painkillers by now.
You like that Druamine, don't you?
It's the little joys. The dark joke. A sunshiny day. Morphine.
This is a serious situation. You need to be looked over and we can do it.
There's nothing to look over. The triage is in, and it's black. Administer morphine. Moribund.
How have you coped mentally?
I haven't. I have holes in my
Mä en oo.
ears missing. Others filled with pain only. A decade of... I don't even know what. Inferno?
You notice the lieutenant is about to say something.
I would imagine it gets tremendously difficult, mentally, to live in isolation.
Traitors. It's better alone. I watch the people of this city turn the lights back on, more and more each year. Ruins, glimmering in the dark, like a fucking merry-go-round. It's disgusting.
How have you concealed yourself all these years?
It was hard in the tens. I didn't have partisan training. They were searching for stragglers, those bloodhounds. Floodlights on the water at night.
There were posters, campaigns.
We communards still hoped, and they needed to snuff that hope out. The East capitulated. Martinez and Cold City were turned to dust. But Jamrock, Forburg, even Coron, and Boogie Street, of course. Those fucking kips had Marsov coursing through their veins. And others too. Some cordons of Revachol was still fighting. There were cells. I tried to contact them. Soon they all went silent. The frequencies dead.
How did you get between here and the mainland?
At night, I used a dinghy. I only went after dark then. When I got to the city, I stayed underground. Patrols, Ulot, the commons too. They'd started snitching.
In the city, you move underground?
From bunker to bunker. Not anymore. No one cares now. I don't even have to hide. They think I'm another antisocial vagrant. I could walk straight into that town if I wanted. I just...
The weapons cache under Safety's Lane 22B in the basement. Have you been there?
So you finally found it. There must have been a small squadron's worth of arms in there. Elmer Graves, right?
They were damaged beyond use.
I know.
So you've been there?
Sleeping. Some nights. Ammo scrounging on others. Those McGraves were shit, even before they corroded. Some had bullets in the chamber, however.
You feel the dots connecting. Little dots on the map he's walked across.
There's a small bunker under the Feld building. Have you stayed there?
The propaganda bunker. I used to, but not anymore.
Propaganda bunker?
They stored leaflets there. Broadcasting equipment, too. Made broadcasts, I think. Propaganda officers. I buried them with their leaflets. They killed themselves. 2 young boys.
Killed
A
themselves?
lot of our boys did. I spent some winters there. Never liked it. Kept thinking of them. No need to go underground anymore. It's better in the ruins, on the ground.
One more question. Do you smoke Tiumutiri
I
cigarettes?
do.
Ever smoked them on the mainland?
They're good. Plenty of tar. I like that boy on the pack, too. Reminds me of the last century. I don't want to. They're all traitors. Pigs, rabbits, and dogs.
The old man looks across the water, at the city, the ruins, the motorways rising above it.
You said this is your termless surrender.
You're with the RCM, the coalition-appointed mob that enforces bourgeois morals in Revachol.
We are not coalition appointed. We just try to help people.
You're the RCM. You represent the Moralist International, the enemies of humanity who took this city. I represent their adversary, le Parti Communiste d'Insolande. Take me to them as a prisoner of war. I have relinquished my weapon. I can no longer serve. No superiors can relieve me of my duty. You bulldoze them all to a mass grave for trying to free humanity.
Tai Dela ennen kuin mä kerkeen saamaan tästä kaiken tiedon ulos.
A spray of blood from his mouth on the black charcoal in the fire pit. Rene, the royalist on the coast, said,
The communards signed the Revacholian Instrument of Surrender.
Liberal reactionaries signed that instrument. Traitors who should have been burned alive. I answer to the Communist Party.
Is that part of why you've been here all this time? Because the party didn't surrender?
he just wipes the blood from his chin.
Honorable.
Honor is a feudal atavism. My motive is class.
So you're a communist soldier from the communist army.
No, I am not a soldier. I am an ideological officer. I belong to the party, not the army.
But you said you were trained and assigned to the Defense Corps.
Trained in historical materialism, then assigned as a political commissar by the party. These things used to mean something.
What does a political commissar do?
The old man does not answer. He tilts his silver head and looks at the reeds. You see a small tremor pass through his legs.
His job was to assure the army answers to civilian control and follows the ideology of the Commune.
Scientific communism. A commissaire politique is a knight philosopher of the revolution, a future human.
Awakened from shutdown by the promise of ideology.
That means you're a trained communist, right?
He nods slowly. Then another tremor.
Today the real revolutionizing is done by entrepreneurs.
You're part of the meat shield. The human meat shield that surrounds the fascists and the license holders. You take the fire while they rape and kill. That's what you are.
Detective, we have not come here to discuss ideology. We have come to ask questions regarding a murder investigation.
The old man spits into the fire pit. He does not say anything more. A jitter passes his lower body. The expression on his face is unreadable. There's some sort of interference there. Neurological?
There's nothing serious in this world. It's a farce.
What have you been using this gun for?
I've used it for killing people.
Fair enough.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Rehellinen kaveri.
Interesting. During or after the war?
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
So he's continued killing after hostilities ended. Okay. This is it. You can feel it, like battery acid on the tip of your tongue. Something you haven't felt in a while.
But what?
This is what you live for. This is the shit. The great serotonin jackpot. The solution.
The solution.
Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful.
Hard.
Slow and steady does it.
The solution is hardcore.
Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
So you're saying you killed people after active fighting stopped?
What did I just say?
What did I just tell you? Don't drop the ball now.
Did you use that gun to shoot and kill Connor of the security contractor Crenell?
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it again. This is dramatic flair on his part. Right choice. We're in. Do it, sire.
You know who I mean.
The worm? There? In the monster armor you took from him? An ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the Commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
A drop of blood in the saliva. Exhaustion. Exhaust him with proof. Pile it all on him. Get a confession. The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember. Something about the tracks. Suddenly, all those tracks are so confusing. Go with something else first.
I've got this.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols. I've seen you prance around with those. Jumping hoops for the liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. He would have a good view of the tribunal from here. It's not just empty boasting. So he saw you. Okay. So what? Don't let it divert you.
Stop changing the subject. We have the murder weapon.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
I'm calling it.
Good. This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
Like a marionette on some invisible string.
We've done the ballistics. The shot came from this island.
I saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You've been here a long time, Mr. Druss. Too long. You clearly need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part.
He's practically admitting to it. Dead fascists for fascists. Done his part. Just one thing remains unclear. The rifle does not seem to have a scope.
The view was perfect with a pair of binoculars I could have seen in the room.
Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
You're a communist. I talked to the dead man. He told me communism killed him. Aha, totta muuten.
Stupid twat.
The lieutenant looks at you with worry in his eyes.
It was intuition.
Intuition is an aberrant psychologism. It reeks of crypto-fascism. The parasite class use intuition to justify their rank in life. It's all just palmistry and magic, Earl creatures. Your brain is rotting from the radio waves.
He does not answer the provocation. It does not look like he thinks this approach worked. But still, somehow you knew it was a communist.
Turn back to him.
Standing there, slack-jawed, brain festering.
What am I forgetting?
Wait, here it comes. The goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
Oh yeah.
There were Maybells in the grass when you got here, and Maybells on Clausia's balcony.
No miten... No mä mietin, että onko ne niitä samoja ne valkoiset kukat, mitä me ei saatu kiinni siitä.
And nowhere else. Nowhere in all of Martinaise have you seen them.
Hyvä, että se olisi oikeasti ollut joku oikea vinkki.
Wait, don't forget the footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up.
Of course. Thank you, Head. Thank you.
You got it. Remember, the boot prints were like no modern soul.
Maybells behind the victim's window. I saw them growing here.
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them. So many this year, too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away.
I haven't seen these flowers anywhere else in Martinez, only here.
They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too, before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may.
A young woman called Klaasje. Ring any bells? Flowers like these were behind her window.
Klaasje.
You know her, right? She had intimate relations with the victim, the mercenary.
With the victim.
There is a small tremble, looks like a smile, a crooked smile, yet isn't quite voluntary. He's about to burst. Don't leave any loose ends. Get him on everything.
I wonder what brand of boots you're wearing.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa. Some shit.
Show me the souls, please, Mr. Doras.
Fucking imbecile.
Black and white spiral pattern covers the sole of the worn-out old running shoe on his feet.
The maker is Sensorique. The model is Cordobe, and the size is 43. These are not the unusual horizontal pattern soles you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the sole.
Wait, maybe it's simpler than that.
Sire, he doesn't have to be wearing them right now.
People change shoes. It doesn't mean you weren't there. Near the room the victim died in, sneaking around.
Racking those brains, are you? Desperate to report something back to your masters? They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The lieutenant gives you a quick sideways glance and nods to acknowledge. The prints were his. You can see it in those eyes. He can't keep them from flickering, looking for something. The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silent suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
He was a killer, but he was still under the protection of the law.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop eating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds.
This is it. Shot him. Shot him. Say shot him, not killed him.
So you shot him.
Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you, while the lieutenant listens, holding his breath.
Hold your breath.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them, in phase, and I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth.
Kunnes Simo häijäs pitänyt pelkällä raudalla.
I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
There, a hot flash of rage almost carries the smile away. Some dark peace.
Then what?
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Dross, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
The motive. This is where the motive is going to come from.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Why were you looking at them at that night?
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
And if you don't like it?
You pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
He will not stop now. These dialectical materialist types never do. Exploit it. You got him going. Connect every little piece now. Wrap this up like a gift.
What specifically did you not like about what you saw the night of the murder?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
So you were jealous?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore. And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
This man has seen past her, like you did.
Rajumpi kliimaksi. Voi se noikin ajatella. How long had you been watching her?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there. She couldn't see me, but I could see her, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
And beautiful.
What do you think she hid there?
Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut.
Tää olisi hyvä, kun olisi jotenkin tajunnut tulla käymään täällä ennen kuin se koko homma olisi tuulettimeen, niin sit olisi varmaan kerennyt pölliin noin kaikki passit sun muut tuolta ja... Tää meni ihan vihkoon tää playthrough kyllä.
In the free state of Semonine, hidden away at the edge of the earth, near the Pale.
Some kind of hidden container on the coast, you looked into it?
Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy. We should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean,
Did you continue watching her after this?
I did. She had a face like an archipelago with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
He's setting it up for you. The bruises, you can't make that out in a scope.
You could see her bruises through the scope of a rifle.
You can't see bruises through a scope. It's just a blur.
Found the peephole, changed shoes, footprints. How does he know those minute details about her body?
It quickly comes to you.
The bruises on her body, any chance you've seen them through a hole in the wall?
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
Siis tää on kunnon pervotäijä.
Did you make that hole?
With a clip point knife.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Ever see her through a window on a roof?
Like that, too. Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass.
You've been through the secret route behind the whirling in rags. Those were your footprints there. You just change your shoes.
I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny.
And that too.
Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
Those two took the cake. You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen. A quick glance at you.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in there now after a good wash. I told you, they think I'm an antisocial. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
Did you have feelings for that woman?
There's nothing to hold on to. Only this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
There have been others.
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
Was that why you left the dried flowers behind her window?
No,
Why then?
I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor, like she does sometimes.
When was this?
The day after I killed him.
And you brought her Mabel's.
Yes, I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
It's as if something put the thought there to leave the flowers.
Something put the thought in you, a compulsion.
What do you mean, put?
Nothing.
I don't understand.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes, then nods at you once more.
So in conclusion, it wasn't about him, it was about her.
Her.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
She got away, but she let us here first. She figured out someone was watching her from the seafort.
Gone. I knew it. She kept staring into the scope this last week at the island, like she knew. She'd look at night, crying or smoking on the roof, staring right into me. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, snow falls on 40-story towers. Above them, Elysium Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the snowy sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft.
Look north.
On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south. Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it a dark strip of ruins, barely visible if she didn't squint her eyes. He knew she knows. She was looking at the island, figuring it out, day by day, cigarette by cigarette.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
Who knows what he's seen and done over the years? Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
Odd flower behavior. Tell white chick. Mene läpi, mene läpi, mene läpi.
What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man who's spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild.
He is surprisingly okay.
Indeed, he speaks fluidly. His movements are rapid, if erratic. His voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. Above all, he seems animated.
Animated by what?
It's a mystery. This animation comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes cut off like threads, as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system.
Dementia.
You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid, keen even, not senile. Is it some kind of substance damage? Like he's addicted to something, not only the painkillers he's clearly on.
Mr. Droz, are you on some kind of psychoactive substance?
No. I won't be stuffed full of shit like the rest of this city.
You said you take painkillers.
I take them to cope with pain. The people of this city use painkillers because they have pain. Untreated illnesses, not enough money for a greedy doctor.
Are you sure about him being lucid? Maybe he's just affected by an extreme case of socialism.
He's a Cyrus, se on vaan sosialisti.
It's not a downer, rather an upper, judging by his snaps.
Are you on amphetamines?
Like some kind of decadent rock star.
Todennäköisesti. Mr. Droz, are you okay? How is your memory?
No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people.
There it is again. Erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and the stomach thing too, of course. Could it be a symptom of overdosing on something? Something even you have not tried? Keep your eyes peeled.
Keep your eyes peeled. Be looking at anything else you haven't liked.
A tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
A strange little engine seems to fire up in him again. It straightens his back. The familiar put, put, put of hatred.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst.
How come?
Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world. Listening to race-themed radio shows. In the ruins, in their lorries. Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it.
Mr. Clare.
Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Let him finish, do not interrupt.
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals, like those boom morons on the ice. A pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cop parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day. It's not enough that the racists and liberals are dancing on our graves. The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins too. Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Koyamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children. That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline of the suzerain, it's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex. At least that old cunt Frisell is now dead. We did good when we pushed him under that horse car. If only, in the 30s, those disco whores...
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts down his brain's language center, leaving only a nonsensical sputter. There was something about a statue and nihilistic advertising agency people. Might be worth investigating.
There was something about the statue on the road about?
Syphilis is a disease Philippe III contracted in a whorehouse. The statue is an abomination.
Abomination?
The bacteria entered his brain and made him squander trillions on sparkling wine, cocainum, and monuments of himself. His son, Philip IV, the insane, contracted syphilis in the womb.
That is technically possible, although Philippe III was not actually syphilitic. He was just mad.
And he still went on to govern Revachol for 25 years. We lost 2 million lives toppling that mode of government. And those grotesque statues, too. Hundreds of them.
But it's still there.
What a keen remark. Yes, it is, isn't it? It's still there. Do you know why?
Because cynical advertising yuppies erected a deconstructed version of it.
That's right. Some advertising cockroaches erected a cynical deconstruction of it. We tore it down with honest working-class plastic explosives. And there it is again. Art is a bourgeois establishment. It's an affront to humanity. Every gallery should be bulldozed, and the artists should all be given 30 years of hard labor in Yekokata.
Wait, the bullet hole in Philippe's heart. The statue had been shot. That was him. It had to be. He's already proven capable of taking a far more complicated shot from here.
It was you. You shot the statue. There was a bullet hole in his heart.
I did. A needless, sentimental gesture. I should have spared the bullet for a deformed monster of liberal capitalism. Shameful, really.
Yes, shameful. So many others to punish over the years. Isn't that right, detective?
That's it for the statue then. Tell me, Mr.
The
Draws.
fat union man let them put it there.
Huikea hahmo.
Corrupt as he is. Probably got a fat check for it.
Niin, tää vaan vakoilee kaikki ja sit jos se ei tykkää jostain, se ampuu sitä. Living the life. You mentioned the Union is social democratic, and Mr. Clare a farce of social democrat.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses.
Se kyllä hassua, kyllä on kommunisti, joka on sitä mieltä, että liitot on perseestä.
Disappointment. So personal. He displays a familiarity with the Union's top brass.
Who's a disappointment? Everard Clare?
That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. The smart one.
Edgar.
You mean Edgar, Everard's brother? Tuli tää kommunisti, Graveyard Digger.
Yeah.
Ai siinäkin jo.
They must have sent the smart one to some university in Le Jardin, where it's alienation this and hegemony that.
You've talked to Edgar.
First against the wall with him.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time. Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Keeperi, niin.
Of course. Maybe the Clears asked him to.
Have you approached them?
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
Hold up.
How did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains.
Niin, sä sanoitkin, että siinä oli vähän liikaa, kun kerran lolat. Pystyykö siitä tekemään, koska toi olisi aika jossain muissakin peleissä aika kätsy, että voisi tehdä tolleen, että niissä voisi vaan togglee sit sitä mukaan päälle, kun on vetänyt sen kontsan läpi. Sama just joku, mikäköhän se on joku oma muistikuva jostain Oblivionista on ollut silleen, että sit kun on hommannut ne lisärit, niin sit se on kiva aloittaa se tutoriaan jälkeen jostain luolasta ulos, niin sit tulee joku miljoona pop-upia ja questlinea ja itemia inventoriin, kun se ottaa ne kaikki DLC-starttiquestit siitä. Niin joo, Steamin kautta. No niin, sehän kyllähän sä pystyt disabloimaan ne DLCt tai uninstallaan. Ja sit asentaa pikkuhiljaa. Niin saa joo.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man of the left. Wouldn't rat me out. I was right about one of those things.
When was this?
20 years ago. Neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then.
That's around the time the Clears came to power.
What did you talk about?
Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzov. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzov. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
And he let you be here.
Let me be here? The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
They let him be here. Understanding was a courtesy. But why such a courtesy?
Mr. Dross, did you kill the Credo mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker, Dwat. As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics. They didn't stick. We parted ways.
Okay, he didn't do the hanged man for them, but he's insinuating something. There is more here. You can feel it. He was not outright lying, but almost.
83. Älä epäonnistu.
The connection comes to you like a splash of cold water. Dark, cold water.
20 years ago, when you met Edgar, the Clares didn't run the Union yet, did they?
He acknowledges it. Here we go. A twist behind the dark bend.
Who did it? Who did?
That bourgeois cow. Tiffin Holly was her name. Licked the rich man's hand every time he came to town. Never seen a labor leader so hot on mutual cooperation. And money. She liked that too. That Holly was a real bridge builder and a deal maker.
She was also a woman, wasn't she? Like that class, yeah.
She was. And she was real soft on those money men. Had a Barbara Muskova bag over her shoulder that she liked to bring to work.
And then she just disappeared.
Called in, they say. On the eve of battle. Ran away. Vanished like a piss stain.
No, that's not quite it, is it?
Did she? They say her daughter called in, not her personally. But that wasn't really her daughter, was it?
No, I guess it was not.
Edgar had someone make the call. Why is that, Mr. Dross?
She couldn't make the call herself.
Here it is, the bend in the river. The truth.
Why?
Because she was dead.
How come?
Because the cow caught a bullet in her right lung. Fell into the canal, grasping her tit and drowned. Or bled. Hard to say. It was a sloppy job on a moving target. She was going home, waddling, dressed in yellow, drunk like she often was. The ruins are black around her, and she had a yellow leather bag under her arm. She tried to cross the canal, heading home to Grand Couronne or Betancourt, someplace like that, where they build those new bâtiments for the people who flourish in the hell around her, and the ruins.
You shot her.
Someone shot her. Or maybe the cow just fell. My memory is full of holes. All I know is nothing changed. Not in the material base, not in the hegemony. There was no uprising. Just words. The Union fizzled, sogged. Nothing came of it. Nothing.
Edgar didn't keep his part of the deal. If you were to testify to this, give the RCM something on Edgar, you could walk. We would strike everything you've done and process you as a POW. You were in a war. You were on assignment. We could even extradite you to the Samaran People's Republic.
A degenerate worker state. Go shit. No, thank you. I'm Revacholian. My days are short. I will rot away here, in a moral intern cell. I will not testify to anything.
But you did do it.
I saw it happen, and I liked it. That's all I have to say. I didn't live and fight for 40 years to end up as a collaborationist. I've heard it on Channel 8, 40 AM, Radio Revachol, late night. Everyone is a blobber in this world. Everyone betrays everyone. They're all already locked up for betrayal. The best ones, the ones with heart, were slaughtered, trampled.
By the cock parading in his colorful uniform, you mean Renee?
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A patank maniac race traitor. I remember him. I remember him from Lanos. Not him personally, his make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the liberals came to their rescue. We missed one. That one.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant, just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
You'd like to kill him?
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bonbon melt in my mouth.
The bonbon?
A treat, better served for later. He's a pleasure delayer.
Save the treat for later.
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day, the blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, nah, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, Renee. For the boys he killed. And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him there lately. Must be down with arthritis. Oh, cunt.
Kyllä tää diskohuorista kanssa.
Horse.
Selkeästi good talk. I'm glad we talked about this. Now.
It's all gone.
His lip curls into
Glad. It's all gone.
You are under arrest.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The wind picks up. The silence on the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your Wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand?
But...
Do you understand, sir?
No, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Pupils are dilated too. Eyes getting blacker and blacker.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.
72 onnistuu.
There it
Yes.
is again. To your north, as it has been since you came to the coast. The reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then, in the middle of it,
What?
something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the strings of a violin. A very small violin.
World's smallest violin.
Reeds and rushes.
Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat.
Do you hear that?
What?
What are you talking about? Is this really us?
Your skin crawls.
Onko siellä joku 4. tyyppi? Vai onks nää nyt niitä elukoita? On.
A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there.
Insulidian Phasmid.
Scythe-like arms.
Se on vähän isompi. Se on taas... ei varmaan striimiin näy hirveän hyvin, kun ei tää näy tässä pelissäkään hirveän hyvin. Aika paljon isomman näköinen, mitä ne ansat oli. Mut siis... Onks näillä jotain niinku kontrolloiks toi tota tyyppiä? Blink.
It's still there. An unfolding mechanism of reed-like chitin, hovering in place.
What is that?
What are you talking about?
The giant stick insect.
There's nothing there.
The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster to grab the gun.
There is, I see it.
Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds.
Him, can you see it?
I can see it.
Hyvä.
4 simple words, thank God. If he can see, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly, in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender.
Be very, very careful.
Mielenkiintoista.
The creature stands on long stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It is no more than 5 steps away from you. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning after the tape breaks. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else in a lower pitch.
Listen carefully. This is the Insulindian Phasmid.
It is.
You glance over your shoulder. The lieutenant holds a piece of milled aluminium. He begins to pull it open extremely carefully. It's the camera. No, the flash will scare the creature off. Warn him now.
Kim, the flash is loud. It won't like that.
We need a photo. No one will believe us.
From the corner of your eye, you see a sudden cascade of motion ripple through the Phasmid's limbs. A series of ultrasonic clicks fills your ears.
Stop. Let me approach it first.
I won't be one of those fools who didn't take a picture.
You see the Phasmid turn to him, its mandible antennae reaching out. Its motions are quick, sudden.
Who cares what they think?
Understood. Of course.
The spindly mechanism turns itself back to you, its antennae taking their measure of the air. Slowly.
Approach carefully. Nyt jos tää kusee. Sitä minäkin.
Slowly.
Mä voin laittaa sen alepakassi.
You take 2 small steps toward the Phasmid. The creature lets out a series of ultrasonic clicks that swarm around your head like swallows. The tracheal system on the creature's abdomen expands in front of you to take in and expel air. It's smelling you. Hissing and clicking, it extends its mandible-like antennae to greet you. You're right below it now, looking up at the colossal chitin of its white limbs. The head of the creature is crowned by reeds, and its eyes are like small droplets of water.
Smelling being.
Maybe it is real. The pheromone.
Niin joo.
The insect's head is crowned with reed-like scales, the shape of seed heads. They rustle as the air moves. The ventricles at its abdomen continue expanding like lunglets. Breathing you in, your sour, greasy semiochemicals on the breeze.
Raise your hand slowly.
The insect stops its stridulation, seeming to observe you. Below its crown of reeds, little pinprick eyes detect motion, glittering. The world stands still around you. Suddenly, there is silence.
Raise the other hand too.
As you do, the invertebrate comes to life, its limbs moving independent of each other, as if each has a mind of its own. They are white, like stalks of porcelain, knitting above you, praying to you.
That's right, pray.
Unwittingly, the insect continues its stridulations. As it moves, tuft-like structures, still pretending to be plants, rustle along on its joints.
Hello, I'm Harry. I don't really know who I am.
No reply. A total ancient silence comes from its mouth, along with what appears to be some kind of foam. The stridulations of its limbs continue all around you.
Stand on your tiptoes and look more
To the
closely.
right, little bubbles form on the mouth parts of the creature, on its segmented lower lip. It looks to be foaming, slowly. The foam is white, then yellowish. The faintest smell, like you've never felt before, like burnt roses.
Kim, it's foaming.
Careful. It may be poisonous.
The foam slowly turns a darker shade, like burnt caramel, as the insect moves its mouth parts, masticating. The little bubbles begin to burst, one by one, letting out that same smell, like summer burning.
Spoke to the hanged man. Did not give up on Phasmid. Nose of the birth. Tän pitäis onnistua. Tell me, what are you doing?
I exist.
Holy shit! Se puhuu mulle. I exist too.
Tell me what it's like for you.
Wunderbar. Fire. I'm ill.
What is your illness?
I'm ill in my head. I'm insane. In my heart, for me it's sadness. Input after input.
For me, it is not like that. I have states, not emotions. For example, I experience excitement at unexpected sugar rewards. But that is not important. Now I will tell you how it is for me. For me, it is a series of half-lit images, a kind of darkness, being intruded upon, transient, dim, moist,
Moist. Intruded upon by what?
shapes of plants and animals, and internal sensations, a swarm of sounds, tiny vibrations on the inside of my forearms, all speak of complexities totally beyond my understanding. I am at the end of a narrow funnel, weightless, so light, it only feels like something to be me. In truth, perhaps I'm nothing. I certainly do not have a soul, and if I did, it would never ache.
You're the type of animal I would like to be.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not. Why are you asking?
Sometimes, when molting, I regrow a lost limb. One time something went wrong, and a small leg replaced a missing antenna.
That's horrible.
Yes, the leg tried to move around independently, making it hard to walk.
You don't have a foot there now.
Yes, thankfully Thankfully someone ate it. The next time I molded, I grew an antenna again.
What exactly are you?
I am an unknown species of the order Phantasmadia, endemic to the Insulindia Isula. For the last 350 years, I have hidden in plain sight, masquerading as the reeds, molding, cloning myself, unfolding at night to play with trash bins and boys. I went unnoticed by the first settlers and the land surveyors of the suzerain, also by the soldiers of the revolution and the officials of the occupation. Even the Seminese islanders who came here first, but did not stay, have not seen me. I have stayed hidden through 4 forms of government and 2 scientific
Hirveä fiksu.
revolutions, until I was accidentally discovered by a detective of the citizen militia in Rebelshaw, district of Martinaise, March 51.
I am a detective.
So am I. I was born to detect sucrose rewards and semiochemicals. What were you born to detect?
I was born to detect you.
Yes. No one detected me for such a long time. For thousands of years. I dithered, out of sight. Trapped myself in greenery.
This is my masterpiece.
No one believed I exist. Almost no one. Until you came, detective. Dripping of blood that smells like strawberries. Across the calm sea. The first in 1,000 years.
Is this a dream? What is happening?
No, you are awake. I am real. Light is forming me. This is real.
Where does this come from? All this around us, the world.
Not even the birds know that.
Ei edes
Not even
linnut.
a water lily.
We need to know. Perhaps it's sent to us by a god.
I think we should eat it. If it's a leaf, you can put it in your mouth. Or read. Yum yum.
Wait, so
So you look like a reed and you eat reeds.
Yes, they don't mind.
Have you accidentally eaten another reed, Phasmid?
Yes, I once cloned myself and ate the little ones. It was winter, and I woke up at the wrong time. It was an accident.
Just. That's insane.
No, you are. The moral of our encounter is, I am a relatively median life form, while it is you who are a total extreme madness. A volatile simian nerve system ominously new to the planet. The Pale too came with you. No one remembers it before you. The Nidarians do not. The radially symmetrics do not. There is an almost unanimous agreement between the birds and the plants that you are going to destroy us all.
I don't have that kind of power.
You're a violent and irrepressible miracle. The vacuum of cosmos and the stars burning in it are afraid of you. Give me enough time, you will wipe us all out and replace us with nothing.
Just by accident. How?
We suspect it would be something like the oxygen holocaust that wiped out anaerobic life 2.6 billion years ago, when organisms first started breathing. Only much worse.
instead of air, you exhale thoughts. There are no trees that eat thoughts.
Worse how?
Everything your eyes touch goes back there, behind the nose mirror. What if you blink? Are we still here? Please don't blink. What if you misplace us all one day, or just forget?
Have I always thought this
No,
way?
you're only thinking it now. This is a revelation.
I will be extra careful not to blink, stick insect. Don't worry.
Please be. Or one day, one of you will close your eyes and sigh, and open them to see that none of this ever existed.
Kim, am I having a violent epileptic seizure?
It doesn't look like that, no.
Okay, good, forget it.
No. What's going on?
I think I'm having a vision about the final fate of mankind.
Okay. Is it somehow related to the case?
The case is meaningless compared to this. I have totally transcended the case. No, I told you what it's about, our fate.
I think we should take the picture, and then you should back away from the unstudied species.
I have to say goodbye now. I have no more thoughts. That was all.
No, there is one more.
Of all the creatures I've met, you are the kindest.
Thank you. I also have one more thing to say to you. That woman, turn from the ruin. Turn and go forward. Do it for the working class.
Turn from the ruin, turn and go forward. I will.
She was middle class. It doesn't take a 3-meter stick insect to tell you that.
Okay, Kim, take the picture.
Okay.
Ei, sit kun se vala välähtää, niin toi hävii tosta.
There is no change in the insect's motion while it's being aimed by the camera. It remains fixated on you.
In 3. If it moves, you jump back. I'll shoot. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
The shrill flash of the camera cuts the air like the blade of a sword. The phasmid freezes in its bright light. Head turned toward the lieutenant. Hypnotized by the flash, it stands frozen before you.
I got it.
We got it back off.
A shudder pulses through the creature's limbs. It jolts back to life, like a record continuing where it left off, in a swaying, praying motion. Even the small black pearls of its eyes do not stray from you.
Disengage slowly.
As you're turning away, the phasmid mirrors your movements, stepping on the water, the long limbs carrying its feather weight without breaking its surface.
Sinne meni.
And just like that, it's gone, skating away across the sea's calm mirror like a skipping stone, leaving nothing but circles on the water. And something under it, in the place it stood, bobbing there, among the reeds, a collection of items.
It's gone.
What's that in the reeds?
Looks like a nest of some sort. We should have a look.
It can walk on water?
Apparently, yes, like a water strider. Only, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
What now?
What now?
Our suspect is not looking so good. We need to check on him.
Luuttia. Hey, fair weather helmet. Rifle scope.
Brother, you've managed to collect all the armor pieces. Too bad it's too late for the big showdown.
I don't think this helmet would have helped me anyway.
It would have looked very impressive. Still, you found it all. Now your mortal coil is completely protected. Few cops are this futuristic.
At least now I am truly invincible. Oh yeah. Viimeinen osa. Yeah! A fighter, not a lover. Kato Morteer. Just laitettiin samanlainen kupoli päähän. Oho, vähän skillipojoja kertoo. Inspect. Check up on the deserter. Vieläks tää on elos? Koska SF6 stream.
What do you want from
Sit kun mä ostan sen.
I can't go.
Something is very wrong with him now.
Sir, how could you not see the phasmid?
Mr. Dras?
The man does not respond.
Pinkki, mä en tuu ikinä ostaa sitä.
Staring, black eyes glazed over and bulging from their sockets. His gap-toothed mouth shaking, like an addict of some terrible substance.
Touch his shoulder gently.
The plastic cape feels coarse. A light shiver passes the man. Other than that, no reaction.
Tää varmaan delaa.
Small and frail.
He's going into some kind of psychomotor immobility. The good news is, this solves our transportation problem, doesn't it, Mr. Dras?
The trembling mouth appears to sigh.
Between this and the broken tire he's used for a boat, I think it's safe to leave him here, while we go and get help. It will need to be medical first, I'm afraid.
We found some things in the phasmid's nest, Mr.
He
Draws.
stares into the reeds. Your words don't stir anything in him. Perhaps you should.
Show him the detached scope.
I lost.
You lost it, Mr. Draws?
He turns his eyes to the reeds again, as he's done so many times. Beige and white stripes.
He lost the scope. Then it somehow made its way over there, with the help of a magpie phasmid. This sight is a T9, Mr. Dras. Was it attached to the rifle when you made the shot?
Silence. Not even a sigh.
Tap on the helmet on your head.
Nothing. Just dull staring. Not even rage left, wherever he is.
Niin se on käynyt varmaan tarkoituksella joskus pölliä sen kypärän ja se on piilottanut sen tänne, että sit se voi jossain vaiheessa ampua sitä. Landing.
If Kuno kicked it into the sea, as he said he did, the ebb would put it back here. This makes sense. Mr. Dras could have picked it up. Or the phasmid even. If it did, this is incredible.
I'm going to let you rest now, Mr.
The
Draws.
plastic cape flaps around his face in a gust of wind. His back is slouched and his mouth open. The blacks of his eyes are receding. His pupils are returning to normal.
What has happened to this man?
Old age and shock.
I think it's the phasmid.
Yes, the arrest and the appearance of the phasmid, the combined stress. But you think it's something more than that, don't you?
There's much more. Remember what it said when it spoke? Quite a few things about that health check you did on him make sense now.
He couldn't see it, Kim. It's just the reeds for him.
It could be part of the shock. But you're right, something is off here. Mr. Dras,
No response.
Maybe this is how the phasmid has stayed hidden all these years.
then how did we see it? Oh, you mean, whatever does this, does it over time? Teenagers, kids, drunks, sightings are brief, and hence not credible. But anyone who spends a long time with it.
Yes, you forget it's there.
Mr. Dras, have you ever seen a stick insect pretending to be the reeds? The doctors will have to look at this. I hope your station has better medical personnel than 57. This is a little advanced for a nurse.
Before, when I evaluated his state, he seemed strangely animated.
He was energetic and articulate. After all these years alone, with little hygiene or medication, I would expect worse.
Perhaps this animation is induced by something in the phasmid.
It does not seem to be animated now it's left. Honestly, I'm ready to believe anything at this point. Maybe it is psychoactive. I mean, why not? It's 3 meters tall.
I think he's addicted to that thing.
Like a drug?
He has displayed addict behavior and not just to
His
painkillers.
pupils appear to be dilated. They still are.
He's been here for a long time. Who knows how much of it in its company?
He did seem distressed when it finally came to arresting him. Like he didn't want to leave this place. And the insect, maybe. I have absolutely forgotten to take notes. I hope I remember all of this. This will be one hell of a report. Thank God we have the photo.
No one would believe you without it.
Hang
We
tight.
should think about getting back to the mainland. To get help. He'll be safe here. If we don't take too long.
Mikä se sanoi, että... Mä rupesin miettiä... Se käski meidän mennä sinne jonnekin. Jonkun... To the ruins and to the left. Mitäkään se tarkoitti? No tarkoittikohan se nimenomaan tänne? Tästä ruins and to the left. Mutta eikö tää ole se, missä me käytiin vähän niinku jo? The depot that supplied this chain is long gone from the coast. Mutta ei se... Harmi, kun siitä ei tullut mitään questimerkintää tai mitään. No way to jump down here without breaking a few bones.
There's a rain-soaked mattress.
B triple prime.
Ei kai se oo sit täällä. On ne muut ruinssit, mistä se puhuu.
A dim golden
It's on. Turn.
automatic boot.
Yritti koskettaa.
ICM? This feels familiar somehow.
Kim, what is the ICM?
Insulindian Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the communist.
Eikö mä kattonut tätä aiemmin?
Black
What?
and White Army of the Revolution.
Sounds an awful lot like.
RCM. It sounds like RCM.
It does.
Why?
The RCM may descend from the ICM.
May.
It's impossible to say. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals.
Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex. It's going to be hard to say them. Carrying around all that weight on a busted crutch is making you pant.
What I'm hearing is we descend from the glorious revolutionary army.
There were all sorts of groups and groupuscules back then. It doesn't really matter.
A white star.
No. An upside-down star.
with its horns in the sky, the symbol of the commune.
Are those specks stars too?
No, that's the uninhabited archipelago.
A DeLorean era symbol of Insulinda, known as the face in the sea.
Looks old. What's it still doing here?
After 44 years? That's not nearly enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Gefreiter. One of these barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel.
Kiinnostaa, mistä se puhuu se pikkuötökkä. Että mä nyt vaan missaan mitään. Go left. Always go left. These tires are falling apart. They're at least 50 years old. Yeah.
The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock.
Let's return to the mainland.
We are done here.
Ehkä mä missasin jotain. En mä tiedä.
The skiff rocks gently under your weight as you get in. The ride back is uneventful and quiet. But for the sound of conversation on the water, there is someone inland waiting for you. You reach the jetty and climb out of the skiff.
No niin, kuka täällä odottaa? Mitä tapahtuu?
Look what the tide brought him. I want to call you a teapot, but I'm honestly kind of impressed. No idea where you got all that gear, but there's no doubt in my mind that some bad people are looking for it. Also, you look like a fucking idiot.
Whatever this is, it is completely unimportant compared to what you've just seen. This is the man with sunglasses from the whirling in rags. But where are his sunglasses?
Wait, you're the man with sunglasses.
Right. And you're some kind of murder machine.
Who are you people?
Hello, Trent Heilerstein. I believe we've met on several occasions.
Hei, toi olisi katsomassa sitä. Tääkin on joku vakoja.
I'm your goddamn partner, Jean-Vic Comar, and this is your special task force. Or what's left of it.
Niin sähän sanoit, että mä tulin tänne näitten kanssa. Häh? Totta.
Special Consultant Trond Heidelstam, Patrol Officer Judith Minot.
Hi.
We've come to scrape what's left of you off the pavement.
Lieutenant Kim Kisuragi, Prison 57. We've just come from the island, where our investigation led us.
The scene is making even him feel as though he has to justify your actions.
We might need your help with something later.
As if he recalled that he's in fact a decorated police lieutenant and not a naughty boy.
And naughty boy.
This is clearly a departmental matter, so I'm going to leave you to discuss it among yourselves.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
It's good to meet you, Lieutenant Kitsuhagi.
Letting the lieutenant know he shouldn't feel embarrassed over the shitstorm that's about to befall you.
The armor? No one else seems bothered by it.
Oh, really? They don't seem bothered by it? That's because you're a cop in an exoskeleton.
Yeah, I'm a cop in a goddamn exoskeleton.
Actually, are you? Are you still a cop? There's so much disco going on, it's hard to tell.
Vic, calm down.
What is this about?
We want to help you. Trent, I believe this is where you come in?
I don't quite know what I'm doing here. I was asked to participate as an expert.
Too much
I
disco.
need to
Ei voi olla.
I'm at best an enthusiast in cognitive science. My background is in something else entirely. I engage in neurology on a merely theoretical
There is no such thing as too much disco.
No, Trent, it's too late. You're part of this shit now. What have you got to say for yourself, shit kid?
Shit, kid. What an interesting moniker.
Nor hardcore. What's a shit kid?
Shit, kid, that's you.
Maybe you've deserved it.
How did you know I was here?
Cafeteria manager you fucked over told us where you went.
Damn you, cafeteria manager! You've betrayed me for the last time! I understand, okay, Garta told you.
And people on the street helped us too, with your whereabouts.
You're a legend among the drunks, Harry. A legendary local drunk.
You aren't the man with sunglasses at all, you're not even blonde.
Guilty as charged. I heard you'd lost your mind and your memory. I wanted to see if it was true. And it was. Good work, Harry. You're insane now. There's one less person for me and everyone else to rely on.
He was too sarcastic for you to realize who he was.
Okay, I had that. Maybe if you hadn't been so sarcastic, I would have realized I knew you.
I'm clinically depressed, Harry. Sorry if I wasn't in the mood to batter you up after you told us to fuck off.
Okay, I had that coming.
Had what coming? Not recognizing people you work with every day. Brain damage.
So Trent Hiddleston turns out to be special consultant Trent Hiddleston.
Yes, I'm Tran Heilestam. I never said I wasn't Tran Heilestam.
Wait, what was up with the kid then?
Mikael? Mikael's my son.
Oh, okay. Spying on me?
No, I was just interested in the Feld building and the Martinez beachhead. And Mikael wanted to see Martinez. It was a coincidence.
So what are you special consulting here?
What indeed? I was asked to share my take on some of the more obscure theories developed in Königstein in the 30s. Like partial psychotraumatic amnesia, group personality theory.
Group personality ei pidä paikkaansa.
He's here to see if you're insane. He's smart. Let's
Meidän päässä ei ole kuin yksi ääni. You never told me you're not the horse-faced woman.
Look, no. My name is not Horse-Faced Woman. It's Judith Minot. I was assigned to your unit 2 months ago. I thought we were friends.
We are still friends, I just have a stupid head.
Okay. Because you're my commanding officer, I really want to respect you. I want us to have a normal relationship.
That will never happen, Jude. He's the rudest man on earth. He's the reason why the rest of us have to take sensitivity training. And I hate sensitivity training.
You mentioned the task force.
Yeah, Major Crimes Unit, under Lieutenant Dubois and Vicomar. Ring any bells?
Refresh my memory, who else is in this unit?
Refresh your memory? It's a goddamn Major Crimes Unit.
MCU.
Jude, Tron fucking Hiddleston, and Guillaume Baby.
I'm technically just a civilian advisor.
Oh, fuck you. You're part of this shit show.
Yeah, first, who's Guillaume Bevy?
Oh, that's an interesting story, actually. Guillaume Bevy is a police reporter who joined our team. He was really good. Then he left because he lost faith in your ability to lead the unit. Other people have left too. Good, smart people. People we won't get back. Only me and this really patient patrol officer are still here. And Tron because I'm forcing him to stay.
Okay, so what does the unit do?
It's a major crimes unit.
No.
We clear the desk of cases so Precinct 41 doesn't look like the worst station in town. We are shit tier now, Harry. Because of you.
The 41st isn't...
Where have you been all this time?
Where have we been? We've been fucking off as far as I remember. You told us to fuck off. You said we're cramping your style. You're detective god. Fuck everything. All we burn. Detect or die.
Detect or die. Why didn't you detect or die then? I said all those things, I'm not like that anymore.
Yes, you're sorry. You're the sorriest cop who ever lived.
Ja.
Last chance, Harry. I've heard this repentance shit a million times over.
None of this is ringing any
The
bells.
bells aren't ringing because you have brain damage. Trant, this is where you come in. How bad is it?
Well, he doesn't have visible tremors, he talks without slurring, he can drive a boat, he's standing, reasoning. All good signs, but complete retrograde amnesia, episodic and semantic.
Meaning, you forgot both who you are and the definitions of money, Isola, Pell, and so on.
As displayed in the station call, our interactions with him, and I don't want to be a snitch, but also mine with him before when Harry did not seem to know who I was. It's all very interesting.
Interesting?
Yes, interesting. I have my theories, but I would like to hear Harry's thoughts first. Harry, what do you think happened to you? Neurologically, psychologically, and why not socioeconomically?
Wait, socioeconomically? You think I'm so poor I lost my memory? I'm a highly experimental detective. This was a method I used to solve the case.
Son of fucking Long here. Detective far out son of Long on the case.
This is all pointless. I have completely transcended all of this. You have no idea what I just saw.
He has indeed had the possibility before. I have trouble believing him, of course, but he seems to want to convince himself of it. And I've seen him work. His methods are unorthodox.
With all due respect, Lieutenant, you're bewitched by the shit, kid. It happens. What doesn't happen is a cop wiping his own memory to solve a case. In fact, it's not possible to wipe one's memory at all, even with the amount of pot and Pilsner he downs every hour. He's simply lying, or insane, or both.
Detective Vigmer, I'm not saying he's the son of Lung, but lying? I mean, he has blacked out before.
I have?
Yes, a couple of times. After some of the more serious benders. One was after the two drunks case, the other when we looked into that mural.
So you don't remember not remembering. Beautiful.
Beautiful. Mä oon unohtanut, että mä oon unohtanut. Oh. En muista, että mä en... Ei mitä.
First he dipped his
Ah.
toes into it, prepared. That's where he would have gotten the idea, yes. Practice. And then he used alcohol to get there, so to speak.
Mä oon oikeasti joku detective mastermind. Police god.
Well, here's my theory. What if this is an absolutely normal reaction to the world we're living in? What if this is not a significant anomaly at all? Something to be explained, approached as a defect?
Hobo cop.
Look at the sensory input here. Look at the ruins, the neon. Listen to the radio, the multitudes, the people.
Me oltiin oikeesti
Lived here
hobo
for
cop.
40 years. As a police detective, he's like a magnetic reader on the world tape, to borrow a known metaphor. Harry's been pushed flat against it. Total input. Hardwired to the free market. He just needed for it to end.
Okay, Trent, thank you. That's absolutely meaningless. I'm glad we brought you. Will he or will he not be able to work in the major crimes unit? Is he a cretin now? I want to know
Cretin?
that.
He's not a cretin, and he is able to do work. If not in his previous leadership role, then as a line detective.
Line detective is good for
For
now.
now, I misphrased my question. It should have been, is he able to put his clothes on and use the party? Or do we need to get him on a disability?
Onhan mulla vaatteet päällä, mitä vittu?
Now nothing. Now we're just going to stand here.
Just stand here.
Yeah. Just stand there. It's cool.
Really?
No. Now we discuss that. What the fuck did you do to a motor carriage? Why is it there, Harry?
The time had come. Tequila sunset.
Ha ha ha. Ho ho ho. Tequila sunset. Not sunrise because you're almost dead. So funny, Harry. Thank you for fucking me. Thank you for destroying 45,000 real of police property that's coming out of my payslip. You know that, right? You're gonna get fired, and I'm gonna pay till I die. It doesn't matter. Your badge, Harry. Show me your badge.
I got my badge right here.
In a rush to demonstrate your badge, your eager fingers can't sustain a grip on the smooth plastic, and the badge slips out of your hand.
Catch it!
Not today, badge.
Behold! My badge.
And your gun?
Me ei muuten ikinä löydetty sitä mun asetta.
As if having your badge and gun are natural states, not
Mä
achieved.
unohdin ihan koko homma.
Gun. Yeah, you don't have that. Maybe you can philosophize your way out of it.
Kukakohan se vei? Mä luulen, että se on Ruby. Mä luulen, että se Ruby osti sen. Eli se on varmaan se meidän ase. Niin,
I
näytetään se.
don't care if you have a new gun. I only care about your old gun. Your official sidearm. You lost it, didn't you?
I don't have the sidearm.
I knew it. I told you wouldn't have it.
This isn't cause for celebration. It's bad.
I would say it's very bad. Yes. You're drunk like an asshole, Harry. Please put the stolen firearm away before you kill someone.
I'm not drunk. I haven't started drinking again.
So you forgot to drink? I don't buy it. Why do you smell like a corpse then?
Koska mulla on ruumiin vaatteet
He's
päällä.
wounded. It's been a long week, and he's handled an actual corpse.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a week. I'm sorry, I smell bad.
Bit of a week? You're drunk, and you let a suspect escape, a certain Clasier, because you were too drunk to assess a flight risk.
Se oli kyllä.
We've read the reports, Harry. Lieutenant Kitsuhagi's. We know.
She was some kind of spy from the Occident, specially trained.
Well, if she was specially trained, I'm not even gonna get into the other suspect, the one who shot herself.
No joo. Varmaan nää nyt tulee vaan vittuille kaikista näistä mokista.
Or the fact that you're Everclear's little peony now, doing I don't know what for him.
Yhden oven avasin.
That's nothing.
Yhden oven.
This anecdote. Compared to the 8 people who were gunned down, the streets are literally red with blood, Harry. It was fucking mass murder.
He did everything he could. We did everything we could. The company hired and vetted mercenaries. Lieutenant Dubois got between them and the locals. He did so at considerable risk to his person. Remember, he was shot. We stopped an execution, not a negotiation. The loss of life was minimal compared to what it could have been.
Oh, yeah, it was a massacre. We got wiped. Where the hell were you?
Don't make this harder for yourself.
Thank you for the input, Lieutenant Kitsuragi. I didn't mean to suggest you didn't handle the situation. You've spent the week with him on this case. What is your take?
On the case?
On Lieutenant Geoffretor Dubois.
Well, the drinking, the gun losing, also losing the badge. That's all true. Although he has not been drinking on the job this week.
See?
1 week.
Then there's the self-flagellation issue. He likes to apologize, profusely, making it sound like he's guilty of at least first-degree murder. It's not a good communication strategy for an officer. It's worrying, especially considering his political views. Detective Dubois.
Miksi tää tuntuu siltä, että tää on nyt tää end of game, missä nää nyt vaan purkaa tää?
He wants to liquidate the ruling class, which, again, for a police officer, is a little odd.
Ja niinku tää viimeinen. Olet pelannut pelin näin. Miltä nyt tuntuu?
You should yell something.
That's not a good idea.
Yes, let's let the big boys talk.
Others still, he is also an ultra-liberal hustler who is always on the grind. How he reconciles these 2 points of view, I do not know. But he is vocal about both of them. And then there's the motor carriage in the sea, and the constant smoking everywhere, all the time. But despite all this, he is a great detective, one of the best I have seen, in fact. He can talk human beings into telling him everything, and he doesn't stop. In all the time I've spent with him, he has not once stopped pursuing leads, however far-fetched and tangential. He is tireless, madly driven. Well, except that one time when he stopped to sing karaoke, which by the way
Hei.
is a valiant effort.
Hei.
He really
Karaoke oli tärkeä tehtävä.
Yeah, it was what it was.
It is what it is.
Other than that one time, he has tirelessly worked on the case, and he solved it. We have a confession, a murder weapon, and the perpetrator, locked on the island right now, awaiting transportation. He apprehended a revolutionary brigade who stayed hidden for 50 years, ever since the revolution, who's probably committed other murders over those years. Oh, and he also discovered a new species.
A new species?
A colossal stick insect. It was on the island, camouflaged as the reeds. It unfolded from the reeds. I think we may be dealing with the Insulindian phasmid.
He takes out the photo of the phasmid and shows it to the officers across the yard. The wind blows, flapping the glossy rectangle in his hand. You hear gasps beneath the howling of the wind.
As you can see, it's about 3 meters tall. In fact, we think it may be the largest land invertebrate ever discovered.
Boom shakalaka motherfucker.
Fucking hell is that? Is this somehow connected to the case?
Detective?
Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I believe the pheromone it emits may be responsible for the killer's mental degradation.
The old man was not aware of the phasmid's presence. Exhibiting a strange, atypical dementia, he fell into a stupor after its appearance. He became near catatonic.
So it is connected.
I must say, this is absolutely extraordinary. I don't even have words for it.
Yes, it really does make it hard to fire the drunk.
Now you make your case. Now is the time. Now or never.
Ne nyt pitää vielä olla karaoke main quest. I also started a nightclub in the church. The phasmid was female, the reeds are its nest. The killer, Lilianovich draws. We have strong motive for him.
Lilianovich. A revolutionary matronym.
Matronym?
The custom started in Grad, where they have patronyms. Krasovich, Lasovich, etc. The revolutionaries saw this as a chauvinist atavism, so they used matronyms, derived from the mother's name instead. This man's mother was Lilian. His Lilian's son, Lilianovich. The custom was overturned after the revolution failed, but not before it made it to Revachol.
So, it is what a soldier of the ICM would be called.
Thank you, Trant. Thank you for that piece of cultural theory. You said you have a motive?
Of course, excuse me, I just thought it was noteworthy.
In an act of jealousy.
Jealousy? I thought this Lilianovich was an old man. To have been hiding for 50 years. Like 70-something.
A strange psychosexual fixation, aggravated possibly by proximity to the phasmid and its chemicals. He himself gave a political reason, said he had killed an enemy combatant. Also, we have ballistics from the gun, matching the bullet found in the dead mercenary's head, and 2 officers on the scene that Mr. Dross confessed to.
It's a clean win.
Oh, it's way more than that.
It's more than that. A perfect folding mechanism, like the Fastmate. Mikä aasin sillä? Kun on tommonen YouTube-video mainoskatko. I did all I could. Every second was a struggle.
I've never doubted you can pull yourself together and work. In bouts. Bouts don't last. I can still smell the booze on the wind.
God damn it. Doesn't it ever leave? It is there, like in your bones or something. It will pass in time.
In time. The previous head of the Deserters Union was assassinated by our killer.
This is a conversation for when we are no longer out in the open, in Martinez, where Evrard and Edgar Clare have ears everywhere.
And eyes, too. Your return from the island must not have gone unnoticed.
Understood, of course.
I would prefer not to partake in anything union-related, for political neutrality.
There was also a dead man on the boardwalk, a missing person I found.
Yes. Fallen through a gap in a boardwalk. Drunk.
How did you know I found him?
Body was transported to Precinct 41, our morgue. I had Tilbrook and Mullins take care of funeral arrangements and family stuff.
You're not the only cop in the world, Harry. This all comes back to us.
Still, good work with the missing person, detective.
I also looked into the Mystery Doom commerce. The reeds are its nest.
Female? What makes you think so?
Uh-oh.
You had to see it. It had the subdued colors of a female, and the nesting behavior too.
Niin me ei voida sanoa, että sillä oli naisen ääni, koska sitten ne taas luulee, että mä oon ihan sekopää, että mä oon puhunut sillä.
Incredible. Were there eggs in the nest?
Not as far as I could see. There were other things there, though.
It had gathered items in its nest, a helmet and a scope.
Actually, you know, this would indicate it was a male. This is far from anything in my field, but I think such nests are called bowers. They are for attracting mates.
It could have been a male, actually.
It must be robust if it can move a helmet with its limbs.
Äkkiä ennen kuin ne luulee, että mä oon sekopää.
You roll it, like a dung beetle.
I think it reproduces by parthenogenesis.
As in cloning itself? What makes you think so?
Observation.
Well, then it wouldn't matter if it's a male or female. The bower would just be rudimentary behavior from before.
Ei myönnetä, että me juteltiin sillä.
Parthenogenetic mutation.
Vähän sama kuin, että ei voi sanoa, että se ruumis kuollut tyyppi kertoi, että kommunismi tappoi sen. Mikä oli siis? Sehän piti ihan paikkaansa.
That makes sense. Yes.
Very interesting.
It had mandibles.
Organisms are extremely vulnerable to disease. A single strain of bacteria could wipe out the whole species. We're probably looking at conservation efforts here.
It had mandibles that looked like hair, and it was completely white on the
Yes,
inside.
also reed-colored, beige and brown, a little green on the outside. After unfolding from a single stalk, it still retained parts that looked like reed tufts on its limbs.
Incredible. The PR value of this is exceptional. Carp discovers new species. Maybe even discovers the Insulindian phasmid. No, that's too much.
This would really help with some of the problems we've been having.
Absolutely, this is great. This does not say vigilante murderers to me at all. This says science, news, human interest. You know, it's a really good thing you have that photo.
Onneksi.
Without it,
Joo. I also looked into the Mystery of Doomed commercial
I
area.
don't know what a Doom commercial area is.
Commercial will all the businesses go bankrupt.
Why? That's not what you were supposed to do here.
There was a possible witness in there, and it was close to the crime scene. He was just chasing a lead and ended up advising a local shopkeeper. It was okay.
Just niin.
Of course. Call it community outreach, right?
Dodged the bullet there. For a moment, it seemed like you were just wasting time.
So what do you say? Wanna take this hot shit back?
I don't want to, but you discovered a new species and solved the murder.
Mitenköhän oikeasti se kirkkojuttu liittyy yhtään mihinkään? Olikohan siitä mitään iloa meille?
So I have to. Jude,
Anything that ends the trial is okay with me.
Agreed. The public relations potential of this is too valuable to let go.
okay. We have vehicles in the square, and the perpetrator needs to be taken into custody. Let's go.
Now you will finally get to know who you are.
I have few questions before we go about who I am.
The man looks westward, impatiently, jingling his car keys in his pocket.
Who am I?
Who are you? You're a gym teacher, Harry.
What?
Well, obviously you're not a gym teacher anymore,
But before?
Before you were a cop, you were a gym teacher in Coron. It's getting really cold outside. Should we maybe...
That does explain a lot.
It explains everything. The running around, the jumping, the bicep girth, your inexplicable facial hair.
You're a wizard, Harry. Ei, mutta mun mielestä on hyvä, että meidän parta johtaisi siitä, että me ollaan liikkamaikkoja.
The fact that you don't seem to know what homosexuality is.
Also, this guy. Just everything about this guy. And this guy, too.
Oh god, contact Mike.
Of course. Contact Mike.
Hei, se kirkkojuttu liittyy tähän.
He's been on about Mike again. I hate that guy.
Contact Mike is a reprise of the most inspiring basic sporting principle of open competition, a 5,000 to 1 rank outsider. Okay, I see now.
I knew it. I knew no normal human being can run like that. He's an honest-to-God gym teacher.
Why am I like
It's
this?
not a mystery. Some chick fucked you over. Also, you're a drunk.
No sen verran me nyt jo tiedettiinkin.
You really went with it, too. Really maximized the damage.
Was her name Dora?
Yeah. Dora England, I think.
Not Dora Dubois.
So we weren't even
No
married.
one is married anymore. This is Revachol.
When was this?
God, I don't know. 6 years ago, she was way before my time.
6 years and you haven't gotten over it. What the hell is wrong with you?
6 years?
Yeah. Or 7. You're not doing too good there. It's an old man thing. 2 old years equals 1 normal year. That and Dora England really tore you a new one. A big one.
Who was she?
Incredibly bangable.
Figures. No, I meant what did she do?
She was incredibly fuckable. A beautiful bourgeois woman. Wayfish. Like a Welkin, basically.
Snow Welkin. Blonde Welkin. Heartbreak Welkin. Pain Welkin.
I've only seen a picture, but it's obvious you formed a real spiritual connection with how pretty she was. One you never recuperated from.
Look, the sun is about to go down. It's time to go.
No eihän, kello on vasta 5.
I think she taught in the Académie des Arts, east of the river. Way east. Hard to say which came first, the middle-class chick or the drink. Egg and the chicken kind of thing. My point is, you need to see a psychiatrist about this shit. Not a psychologist. Several degrees harder. Is there something harder than a psychiatrist? A forensic psychiatrist? Go talk to that.
In other words, he's heard enough about this.
Okay, am I a dirty cop working for La Puta Madre?
No,
Because the suspect seemed to think.
you're too unstable to work for a mob boss. You're suicidal, Harry. No mob boss would take you.
Fair enough.
I assure you, I wouldn't consult for a corrupt unit.
He would immediately backpedal out of it. I told you it's not that bad.
What kind of station is it?
Us? Well, the bloody murder station, haven't you heard? With the bad guys. No one likes us.
That's not true. Jamrock is too big for one precinct. You are just understaffed, and everyone respects the 41st. You have Captain Price.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You're being kind. It is an understaffed station and the district is too big, which is why we need to...
Get back to it. We left Torsen and McLean to run the Sea Wing. It's not good.
So I work in the bloody murder station.
It's not the bloody murder station. It's an old converted silk mill with green desk lamps and a coffee corner. A lot of good people work there, hard, every day.
Yes.
Jamrock is the largest ghetto in Rivershall. Faubourg, technically, but it's divided into 11 districts. Jamrock only has us.
The press will blow over. Jamrock is lucky to have you, and it's often considered to be the greatest of the districts. You're lucky to have it.
Thank you again, Lieutenant.
The Phasmid, I need to tell Lena about this ASAP.
Who is Lena?
She lives at 1113 Tabernacle Road in Jamrock, remember?
A cryptozoologist. She lives in Jamrock on Tabernacle Road. She told me about this Phasmid.
Tabernacle? It's on the way over. Near where you live on Perdition.
Fine, if we're gonna drop you off anyway.
She and her husband were conducting the search for the Phasmid. It's their discovery, in part. They should know as soon as possible. It would do you good to deliver some positive news for a change.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi, what will you do now?
Well, first I will go back to my station and write the most detailed report anyone has ever seen. It will have to be good to cover all these. Then I will have a serious talk with my captain.
About what?
Detective, we just stopped a small-scale war. Something is happening to Revachol.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what yet, but it's going to be a hard spring for the RCM. We need to get ready, infiltrate, investigate.
Want to do that at Station 41?
Talk to Captain Price? I'd rather not ruffle the feathers of two captains with my doom-mongering.
No, I meant investigate. Come work.
Work with Price? I'm flattered, but I don't know if I...
This truly came as a surprise to him. Not a bad one, but he's at a loss.
Flattered? You're Lieutenant Kitsuragi. We would be flattered if you even considered.
I would have to tie things up in GRIH first. But, I mean, whatever is coming, Jamrock will be more central to it than the harbor.
And we also have a huge caseload, Lieutenant. Piles that we need to get back to. Mountains
No,
even.
tällä on hirveä kiire koko ajan lähteä takaisin kotiin.
I do like the sound of that.
He's really considering it.
I'm ready. End.
Good.
Fuck it, let's go. Trump brought his motor carriage. It's a 20-minute drive to Jamrock.
Under the afternoon sky, the great district hums. A chessboard of wooden houses, 80,000 living souls, and chimney stacks. Fire traps as far as the eye can see. From Main Street to Precinct 41, to Boogie Street, forking into the snow-swept horizon. You close your eyes and hear the dogs bark. A lone woman sits by a factory window, dreaming of meteorite strikes. On Rue de Saint-Jérôme, a square bullet slides into a square-shaped chamber. In Old South, a man without eyelids smiles. Spring has come. It's time. Torsen? Yes. McLean? Yes. Heidelstein? No. Vicmere? Yes. Dubois? Yes. Really? Nick Gottlieb looks up from the list. I hear he's unstable. You say that like it's a bad thing. Captain Potomac Price gestures with a ballpoint pen. It's dim in his office, and the curtains are drawn. Harry's our man. He'll pull through. When he does, he'll side with the people. Understood. Gottlieb returns to the list. Minnow? Of course.
Wonderful. Then can we please just go back to Jamrock now?
Hirveä valkoinen tää end-nappula. Onks tää nyt the end? kirkkoa bailaa. Ai, meikäläinen pääsee asiakkaan penkille. I guess that was that. Mitäs si? Kuule. Mulla oli hirveellistä pelejä, mitä mun piti striimaa, ja mulla ei tule nyt ensimmäistäkään niitä mieleen. Mikke Metsniitty, Jyri Saks, Liis Väljauts. Kun se Cyberpunkki pitäisi jossain vaiheessa pelaa, mutta mä haluaisin venää, että siihen tulee se DLC-patchi kautta se DLC. Mitä muita pelejä mulla oli? Dennis. Pitäisikö pelata insinööripeliä välissä? Mitäköhän ideoita mulla oli? Siihen yhteen kylänrakennuspeli oli tullut joku hyvä patchi, sitä voisi jonkun yhden striimin verran varmaan pelaa. Puhutaanko me samasta? Se joku Frontiers vai mikä se oli? Eikö se ole joku Frontiers? Missä me pistettiin ne lehmät paskomaan sinne viljapellolle ja... Ja joku pari striimiä pelasin, kunnes se vaan loppu kesken. Peltoa siirrellä kierrättää. Joo, just se peli. Just se peli. Ai niin. Tässä olisi ollut nämä ääninäyttelijät. Mua olisi kiinnostanut se... Yksi, joka kuulosti ihan suomalaiselta, mutta mä en nyt kyllä tossa listassa nähnyt yhtään suomalaista nimeä. Kim Kitsuragi. Mega Rich Lightbending Guy. Elina Hietala, oli se siellä Soona. Tykkään näistä jostain nimistä kyllä. Fuck the world. No niin, ruvetaanko me nyt kun pelistory on käyty läpi, niin pitääkö meidän käydä nyt peli- ja publisherin story? Tästä on vissiin ollut jotain hälinää ja ulinaa, että tässä oikeassa elämässä tämän pelin ja tämän julkaisijan välillä on ollut, tai pelin tekijöiden ja julkaisijan välillä on ollut jotain hämärähommia. En tiedä tarkalleen ottaen mitä, mutta en tiedä onko siinä kusetettu jompaa kumpaa puoliin tai viety oikeudet tai IP tai jotain. En mä muista mikä se juttu oli. Disco Waldo. Jok. On pakko katsoa, voiko sitä skippaa. Slime is slime. Kyoto. Voi ei missä siihen lopun kävi rapsittu. Ai jaa. Ai. No, mutta tulit just sopivasti lopputeksteihin. Peli ohi, peli läpi, kaikki ohi. Everything is over. No, sitä tossa vähän pyöritettiin, että mitä seuraavaksi. What next? Sitten mä mietin jossain vaiheessa Factorioakin, mutta sitten viimeksi kun mä pelasin sitä tossa ihan omaksi ilokseni, niin mä kyllä taas hinkkasin sen niin tappiin, että sit jos sitä pelaisi, sit sitä pitäisi pelaa sitä jotain modattua, mutta jos se modaa, niin... Sitä mä en striimaa alusta loppuun, me ollaan muuten 10 vuotta sen pelin parissa. Joku tasohyppely. Vai tasohyppely? Crash Bandicootiin joku hupistriimi. Mä joskus ostin sen jonkun paketin, missä oli ne 3. Onkohan toi mun ohjain kuinka hengis vielä? Markus Härmä. Mulla oli joku idea. Tai mulla oli itse asiassa aika montakin hyvää ideaa. Crashii vaan, jos kaikki timantit. Ei kun mä pöllin tuolta... Mikä vittu? Läppävika. Mikä vitsi sen nimi ei? Miksi mä en muista se ei nimeä? Rauskilta. Mä pöllin siltä sen... Joo, sieltä se tulikin Rauskilta. Se... Crash Bandicoot vai mikä se on, kun se... Candy Bandicoot, just se. Ei, kyllä me nyt vaihdetaan Suomi Twitchin ihmeelliseen maailmaan ja me ruvetaan vaan dokaamaan ja pelaamaan noita slotseja. No. Sitten pitäis mennä kikkiin. Jos ne maksaa mulle joku 1 000 000, mä voin vaihtaa sinne. Mä laitan bikinit päälle, seison kahluvaltaassa ja dokaan Salmariin ja markkinoin jotain kusetusslotsia omilla affililinkeillä. Aina sitten jotain tuntiliksaa kaikille, ketkä striimaa loloa. Säkin huomasit se stress reliever. Noi oli osa sitä settiä. Ei vähän sekoilu. Paljonkaan siellä on tuntiliksi? Mua kiinnostaa yksi asia. Can you or can you not? Käydään kattoo, että olisiko sinne saarelle voinut mennä tässä vaiheessa.
Waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards.
Purilaivan tossa.
Why does she care about the waves so much?
What is it with you and those
What is
waves?
it with waves and fishermen?
Eh.
Until that happens, I can try to assist you the best I can. So, what will it be?
Suostuuks tää heittää meidät? Niin se ei oo tässä vielä se vene. Suostuuks tää heittää meidät sinne saarelle?
I'll just keep the Corda Lacey in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier. Hi, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course, jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day.
Something about the way she says it makes you want to sing.
Jetty.
Oh, jetty. It's good to see you.
What brings you here?
Nothing really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
spy. Then there's the man.
Mua ei nyt kiinnosta. Mua kiinnostaa, voiko sinne saarelle mennä.
Water drips down eaves of Etonite. The smell of salt.
It's pornographically poor.
Porno
The ship
mainittu.
has no name. All the men are dead or missing. I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet.
Dark eyes survey the coast, leading.
Fortunately for you.
All right. Politics time. Let's react.
She could ease. Do you know how they discovered this place? No. They're insealing. Well.
Mua kiinnostaa mikään on. Mua kiinnostaa, että miten mä pääsen sinne saarelle.
To tell you one day.
Joo.
I hear.
This story, she.
Maybe there is something else I can assist you with while you're hot in put. I love.
Fast.
Pleased to meet you, Lieutenant W. Freighter. What can I help you with,
Nah.
Lieutenant?
Porno mainittu. No niin, ja kikkiukutsu. Mitä ei kyllä... Tästä ei vielä... Se vene on vasta tossa. Eli sinne saarelle ei välttämättä olisi päässyt aiemmin. En tiedä. Voi olla, että tulee vaan ehkä googleteltua ja katsottua YouTubesta erinäisiä videoita. Olisiko se siinä? Pitäisikö mun tästä taustalla katsoa nopea vilkaisu mun... Farthest Frontier oli se peli. Siihen on tullut aika paljonkin lisää. Cyberpunk. Siellä on taas nopea tää. Voidaan ottaa yksi hajoilustriimi Getting Over Ittiin jossain vaiheessa. Satisfactory mä mietin kans jossain vaiheessa. Se ei joskus oikein sytyttänyt itseä. Mutta ehkä se vois, jos sitä uudemman kerran pelaisi. En mäkään pelannut sitä loppuun. Sitten mun piti pelaa Elden Ring uusiksi jossain vaiheessa. Sitten mun piti pelaa Witcher 3 uusiksi jossain vaiheessa. Siinähän meillä olisi kuulkaa pelejä. Witcher 3 oli yksi niistä. Minkä takia mä en ole lisännyt sitä tonne? Pelaa Witcher 2. Se on ainoa, mitä mä en ole pelannut. Mun pitäis pelaa se. Se on niin työmaa. Mä en tiedä, miksi se on niin työmaa. Laitetaan listalle. Add streaming. Add streaming. Placid Geralt. Ei kun siis... Joo, siis se inventory-modi on pakollinen kyllä. Mut sit mä en tiedä, haluais mä sitä combat reworkia. Se voisi olla hyvä. Nyt pitäisikö ottaa joku ajelustriimi kanssa jossain vaiheessa pitkästä aikaa. Nyt vois pistää oman modivasaran heilu ja poistaa tosta noin 3 viestiä välistä ja sitten vaikka flashit Geralt. Ja mä latasin niitä. Eikä todisteita. Sekiroki voisi olla kyllä hauska pelaa uudelleen. Se ei olisi hirveän pitkä peli. Hetkonen. Eli Manifold Gardeniakaan ei tullut silloin. Siitäkin on niin kauan, että siitä ei oo vodeja. Selaa tän nopea läpi. Niin, sit mietin jossain vaiheessa, että mä haluaisin pelaa tän Assassin's Creed Black Flagin uusiksi. Sekin voisi olla ihan hauska. Niin, on varmaan saanut. Voi olla, että mulla on se Epikis. Ai et pystynyt pelaa sitä. Mikä siinä oli, ettei pykennyt. Se oli paras AC-peli silloin, kun se tuli, koska se oli vähiten Assassin's Creed. Vaan se oli eniten merirosvopeli. Movement oli liikaa. Jaa. En mä siis tiedä, miten se nykypäivänä enää oikeasti. Sekin voisi olla tavallaan sen takia siisti monen vuoden jälkeen pelaa sitä, että miltä se vaikuttaa tänä päivänä. Se on vähän semmonen... Onko se muita Assassin's Creedejä pelannut? Koska jos et ole pelannut niitä muita, niin sit mä voin ymmärtää, kun se on semmonen... Vähän hassu, kun siinä pitää olla se ykköstä. No joo. Way back. Insane Trilogy. Ja niin tätä. No, mä nyt keräilen tänne mun streaminkaan, niin se on näitä eri pelejä ja sit voi pelaa. Dead Space 2 varmaan voisi olla ihan siisti pelaa jossain vaiheessa, mutta mä en tiedä vaatiiko toi jotain modailua kans nykypäivänä vai toimiiko toi vaan plug and play. Ei vitsi, tämänkin mä haluaisin kyllä joskus pelaa. Siis se ykkönenhän oli tosi basic. Dead Space 1, sehän mä silloin striimasin, mutta se oli kans... Se oli modattu ja häkätty, koska jostain mä kuulin, että se pitää pelaa sillä kaikista vaikeimmalla vaikeusasteella, että se on hauska. Mut sitä ei saa ennen kuin on pelannut pelin läpi. Mut jostain jonkun DLL-filun tai jonkun, en tiedä minkä tekstifilun pystyi käydä muokkaamassa silleen, että sinne pystyi laittamaan nollan tilalle ykkösen, niin sit se peli luuli, että sä oot pelannut sen kerran läpi. Niin sit sen sai sen vaikeimman vaikeusasteen. Ja sai sen, niin pystyi pelaamaan sen ekan pelikerran sillä, mutta se oli vähän ihkeä, oli aika bullet spongia. Tavallaan ihan siistiä, mutta jossain vaiheessa oli silleen, että mua kiinnostaa vaan, että saada tää peli loppuun, että mua kiinnostaa upottaa näitä kuulia ja näihin niin paljon. Pelataan Oblivionia joskus. Parempi kuin Skyrim. Ois Morrowindikin, mutta se on vähän liian vanha mulle. Vaikka sekin on ensimmäinen Tessi, mitä mä oon pelannut. Mitä muuta? Mitä muuta? Joo, siis Dead Space 1 se senssi oli ihan roskaa, koska siinä oli se V-synkki oli tehty jotenkin silleen kännisesti. Niin siinä on ihan hirveä delay. Ja sit se senssi tuntuu tosi hämärältä. Mut sit jos otat sen V-synkin pois päältä, niin sit se senssi on taas ihan fine, kun se vaan säätää kohilleen ja se tuntuu hyvältä. Mut sit sitä peliä pystyy pelaamaan joku 10 minuuttia, niin sit koska sulla ei V-synkki päällä, niin siinä käy silleen hassusti, että koska se peli pyörii niin nopea, niin se ei spavnaa jotain triggeria tai jotain, niin sit se softlockkaantuu se peli. Niinku legit johonkin ensimmäiseen 10 minuuttiin. Ja silloin joskus kun mä tappelinkaan tää, mä niinku restarttasin se peli joku 10 kertaa. Mut silloin kun mä striimasin, niin mä satuin tietää nämä jutut, niin mä osasin fiksaa ne. Sekin pystyi tekemään silleen, että otti V-synkin pelistä pois, mut sit käytti sitä Nvidian control-paneelia siihen, että lukitsi sen framerate. Niin ei ollut hirveä latensy ja triggerit ei kus. Vieläks täältä löytyisi jotain? Joo. Se on vähän semmonen. Mä luulen, että se mun Oblivion varmaan menee vähän samaan tyyppiin kyllä. Mä nyt lisäsin sen tonne, mut on kyllä niin paljon pelejä, mitä vois periaatteessa. Mä en pelannut Magikaa koskaan läpi. En edes muista. DLC ollenkaan. Mä muistaakseni on kyllä, en kyllä muista, koska mä hakkasin sen silloin läpi, kun se tuli, niin ei edes ollut niitä DLCitä, ja sit kun DLC tuli, on ne kyllä, mut sitten oli vähän sitä meh. Niin, no kun se on just se, pitäis aktivoida sellaista myöhemmin. Ei kun tän mä halusin pelaa. Metal Gear Solid 5. Eiku, sori, V. Ei tiedä, onko se vitonen. Tämä on kyllä hyvä. Te ette näe mitään, en mä uskalla. Täällä on semmosia juttuja välillä esillä kuule, kun MSkin. Kattonut taas liikaa Uncle Rogeria. Joo, eikö tätä Metal Gear Solidinkaan sivuja voi näyttää, että tässä on liian paljon bikinitissejä, kuulkaa se. Tulee kyllä banaania saman tien Twitchistä. Mut siihen on lore-syy, miksi sillä on niin vähän vaatteita. Se on kanon. Se ei voi pukea enempää päälle, sen on pakko olla puolalasti. Red Lightista. Mulla ei tule nyt äkkiseltään kyllä mieleen, mihin sä viittaat. Voi olla, että mä en oo nähnyt. Uncle Roger, joo. En itse asiassa oo muuten nähnyt. Mä luulen, että se mielisit tätä Metal Gear Solidia. Vai linkkasitko sä mulle jonkun? Onks mä missannut jonkun? Mulla meni hirveästi kaikkia linkkejä ohi, kun mä oon nykyään niin paljon aina kaikkialla muualla, ja sit jos mä oon himassa, niin mä nykyään hengaan vaan partsilla. Ne kodealla juurikaan. Kommentoinkin sitä. What? Siis onko se joku YouTube-video vai toi TikTok? Toi uusi TikTok. Mä kyllä katoinko mä sen? No, pitää katsoa uudelleen. We'll have to look again. Niin tääkin jäi joskus kesken. Tätä alettiin striimaa, mutta sit se vai jäi. Super Meat Boy vois kunnolla hajoilla. Ei niin, sit mulla ois mulla ois Gogissa Thief 1 ja 2 ja sit siellä ois kans kommentti siihen edelliseen. Joo. Niin, mulla ois kaikki noita vanhoja pelejä, mitä mä haluaisin pelaa. Thief 2, senkin mä haluaisin ehkä striimaa jossain vaiheessa. Onhan näitä. Pitäis rupea striimaa enemmän. Pitäis rupea urheilemaan vähemmän. Tai jotain, rupea työttömäksi. Mut joo. Eiköhän tässä nyt jauhettu shaibaa ihan tarpeeksi. Päästän teidät tekemään mitä haluatte tehdä. Vaihdetaan. Ja sä menet töihin ja mä voin tulla työttömäksi streameriksi. Läpsystä vaihdetaan. Vaihdetaan vaan. Mut mä saan edelleen liiksaa. Käy! Alright. Ensi kerralla jotain muuta. Valintoja on. Eikä sieltä jotain löydy. Onko se yhden kerran vai onko se pitempi vai onko se jotain muuta? I don't know. Nyt mä menen. Hei hyvästi ja hyvää yötä.